Hey everybody, we got another edition of News or Noise today. It is the off season. We got a bunch of off season competition news coming up, some injury news, and a little look at some off season competitions a little further down the road. We saw 4 different competitions go down this weekend with some notable athletes. First up was Turun in Finland. On the men's side, you had Ludwig Hansen take the overall top spot. He finished 25th at European semifinals. And on the women's side, it was Mirka Henriksson. She is a 3-time CrossFit Games athlete with CrossFit Porty. They just came off a 17th place finish at the 2023 CrossFit Games. And for Henriksson herself, she finished 68th in the Open this year. So a pretty standout performance for her by herself at the Open. Next up, we have the Fitland Fitness Festival. This is one of the competitions that are part of the Wodapalooza LATAM Championship. So from this competition, the top 2 men and the top 2 women will qualify for that LATAM Waza event happening in December. So on the women's side, you had Anna Martinez taking the top spot. She was 57th at the North America West semifinal. And in second place, you had Sasha Nieves. She was 11th at Copa Sur this year, but in 2022, she was a part of the Mayhem Independence team that finished 5th at the CrossFit Games. On the men's side of the competition at Fitland, in first place, you had Brian Steven Fajardo. He finished 8th at Copa Sur. And in second place, you had Juan Tobin. He was 21st at Copa Sur. So those 4 athletes will be advancing again to that Wodapalooza event in December. Over in Poland this weekend, you had the Beach City Finals. In first place on the men's side is the 26th fittest man on earth, Bronislaw Olenkowicz. Kind of ran away with the competition there. And then on the women's side, you had Maria Wolich. She finished 136 in European quarterfinals this year, but she did qualify for a semifinal back in 2021, but withdrew from the German throwdown then. Back over in North America, you had the Tampa Bay Games this weekend as well. On the women's side, Roran Scott took the first place. She kind of burst onto the scene this year with her 38th place in the CrossFit Open. Ended up finishing 35th at the super competitive North America East semifinals. In second place on the women's side, you had Lily Burkhead. She was 108th in North America East quarterfinals. On the men's side of the Tampa Bay Games, also some names you'll recognize. In first place, you had Nicholas Bedone. He was 233rd in the CrossFit Open this year. In second place, you had Hamza Tarif. He finished 8th in the Asia quarterfinals, ultimately withdrew from competition, but he's one of those athletes in the HWPO training camp. In third place, you have Peter Mason. He finished 27th at North America East semifinals. So again, really interesting field down in Tampa Bay. The competition to keep your eyes on this weekend is the Iron Games happening down in Utah. Biggest name of the field, you got Kloie Wilson. She just finished 12th at North America West semifinals, only 13 points behind Kelly Baker for that last qualifying spot to the game. So interesting to see how she does with the rest of the field. Expecting her to run away with it a bit. On the men's side of the competition, you got semifinalist Logan Ewing. He was 41st at North America West semifinals. You might recognize him. He's training partners with Roman Krenikov, so you'll see him in the background of a lot of Krenikov's Instagram posts. So familiar face there, is also an up-and-comer on the men's side of things. Other news coming down the pipe for our off-season competitions. So the Madrid Championship, they released their full list, or nearly their full list of the elite athletes. On the men's side, top 3 people to really look out for. Lazar Dukic, he was your winner there last year. You got Jonne Koski, who finished 6th at the CrossFit Games this year. And Travis Mayer, who's missed most of the season this year due to a wrist injury. So it'll be interesting to see him back on the competition floor with those 2 guys who just finished in the top 10 of the games. On the women's side of things, you have a couple women who just missed out on the games this year. So out of Europe, you got Jacqueline Dahlstron, who was at the CrossFit Games in 2022, as well as Anikha Greer, who missed out by just a couple points out of the North America East semifinal. And they're joined with past CrossFit Games athletes Victoria Campos and Turi Helgadottir. So interesting to see how the 4 of them battle back and forth in the competition this year. The Dubai Fitness Challenge or Fitness Championship, they announced that they have sent invites out to 30 men and 30 women. So it'll be interesting to see how they shape their field, since it is an invite-only field. Just trading messages with them on Instagram. They're going to be a mix of athletes, some of whom have been at Dubai in the past, and some up-and-comers and some interesting athletes. So with a hand-picked field, it should be interesting to see who comes out on top, and should be pretty competitive. The Down Under CrossFit Championship has released their qualifier workouts for all division, including the elites. They also have a few elite invite spots available. Their criteria were top 3 at the past Torium Pro, past winners of the Down Under CrossFit Championship, and any past or present CrossFit Games athletes. So it'll be interesting to see who ultimately shows up there. Last year we had Jay Crouch and Jake Douglas, who went on to the games this year, battle it out. And Maddie Sturt and Caitlin Van Ziel on the women's side. So interesting to see with this elite carve-out if we do get some more of the past games athletes there. It'd be really interesting to see Jay Crouch and Jake Douglas battle it again. Adam Bailey Martin and Ricky Gerard coming back. Should be a really fun competition, as always, down in Australia. Outfit will also be launching their qualifier here in the next few days. Last year's champions were Brent Fikowski and Antonia Falt Kodolinski, who came off air, who just finished 6th place at the CrossFit Games as part of CrossFit Walleye. In sad news on the off-season competition front, the Zealous Games will not be going on this year. So after a 2-year run, was not able to find a way to run the competition that didn't result in a loss. So unfortunately, we will not see that competition in the off-season fold this year. Looking at athlete news, Gabrielle Magala, who just came off her best finish at the CrossFit Games with a 4th place finish, just made a post about how happy she was and how she had found her place at CrossFit Krypton. So good things for her, working with Ben Smith and his training. So it'll be interesting to see if she is able to crack the podium next year at the CrossFit Games. Brooke Wells has shared a post saying that she is back running after she tore her plantar fasciitis at North America East semifinals. So good to see her bouncing back from another injury. It'll be interesting to see if we see her at an off-season competition, or if she'll just be focusing on getting healthy for the 2024 CrossFit Games season. In a series of posts, Paige Semenza also highlights a back injury that has hampered her training and competition so far this year. Really just shows what a predicament these athletes are in, with the CrossFit Games being such a big draw, both from publicity and financially. The athletes are choosing to train and compete injured, just so they are able to compete at the games. So hopefully Semenza bounces back, and just kind of for the growth of the sport, seeing more opportunities for these athletes to make some money. So athletes aren't in the position between training and competing hurt, just to be at the games. And with that, that is the CrossFit news for this week. Thanks for watching.